Alright, so that's the plan. We are to leave the city. But we have a little bit of a side quest that lasts for quite a while, and we can get started now. Yeah, and this also gives a hint to it as well. The boss that we fought in the sewers actually gave us an item that we can start this quest. So let's give Allegretto Saber, and we're good to go. So, to explain the quest, it's mostly just trading items to other characters, and we get items in return to trade to other characters. The reason why the photos come into play is that there is an NPC that asks for photos of different species of monsters that we encounter, and they are asking for 20 of them. Now, if you notice, we can only have 12 at a time, so we do have to do this pretty much twice over. So right here, these are two different species. Thankfully, the bosses count for two different ones, so we can now grab the bosses as well. And this is only if we have Beat in the party, because he's the only character that has this ability. So, pretty much anytime we see an enemy, we can take a photo of it, if Beat is in our party. If not, we can always come back, because this is just how I prefer to do it. It's good to get this one out of the way early on, so that we don't have to worry about coming back later, because some of these places we don't come back until much later. So it's good to get a head start on this. So we pretty much take the rat tail and talk to Lib here, and then we can get started with it. Alright, trade in rat tail for stick. Alright, so we take the stick and give it to somebody that's in town, so we can pretty much just leave. Now, at first, some of these items are pretty benign. I mean, the rat tail, the stick. We get dentures after this, too. There are some accessories that we could get out of this that are actually really beneficial to our party members if we can equip them. There are some that we can keep because they are pretty good, but there are some other ones that we don't really need. So we'll eventually trade them off. Alright, so I do have a couple of extra photos because I took some of the boss. I'm actually going to sell those because they usually sell for quite a bit more than the regular enemies. Alright, so I have to keep at least one of these. Yeah, so 1100 for that one, 1200. Yeah, so depending on the rank, they would also sell for more too. Like C sells for maybe a couple hundred, B sells for like more than 500, and A usually sells for quite a bit. So, not too bad. But I will keep these because we could save them for later. Alright, we got 6,500, got some spending money. So, we just got the saber, so we're good with that. B already has that. I will get the mail shirt. No, I will skip this one, actually, because we're pretty much going to be using Allegretto's armor, because we're going to get another piece soon, after we leave the city. But I will buy some of these. Alright, so we're good to go. Alright. Okay, so we got the stick. Now we just talked to a dude that's out on the beach. And we can trade it for dentures. Yeah, so this quest, you can do it at any time, I believe. Or I would have to check on that. I think at one point you probably can't. But either way, you could get it started like right after the first boss. Alright, so we give him the stick, and we get dentures. Now, this one is going to take a little bit because the person we have to talk to is a little ways away, but we can talk to his wife. Did you happen to see my husband? He took my dentures and went off someplace. If you see him, grab him for me, would you? I need to teach him a lesson. He won't be getting any dinner tonight, that's for sure. How can I talk if I don't have my dentures in? Well, I always keep a spear set with me, of course. I'm not a dunderhead like my old husband. Yeah, so we don't have to talk to her, but definitely talks about the other guy. So we have to find him, but we won't see him for a bit. So we could just head out.
Okay, you gotta watch yourself, Beat. It's not gonna be the same as fighting the rats in Red.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
I know. Don't worry. I'll take some good pictures.
Pictures? Come on, don't waste time on that stuff. You need to help me fight.
Hey, that's not nice. Don't say things like that. Taking pictures isn't a waste of time.
Fine, fine. You can tell me all about it later. Come on, let's get moving.
Yeah, so there is a reason why Beat is so defensive with the photography, and we'll find out later. So as for now, we pretty much head out into the world and take photos along the way, because we got some new enemies out here in the Go-Go Forest. Yeah, so just like before, grab any chests along the way, because they usually hold pretty good items. Good items, good equipment, that sort of thing. And here we're going to have another tutorial. We're going to talk about the party level this time.
Our party level has gone up, and we're getting better at real fighting. So now I'm going to teach you something else that's really important.
Yeah, so it pretty much just talks about the changes. We get different changes with the party level up, and I'll explain those along the way. So for now, we can just skip this. And these guys we saw in the beginning with Polka, so they're pretty simple. Ooh, copper necklace. I believe Beats, yeah, he has a lower defense. Yeah, so I'll give that to him. We already got a photo of the rats, so we can pretty much just attack them. These are the same as the other ones, the ones we fought in the sewer. Oh. Yeah, so if you notice the change at the bottom right, we actually are able to build combos now because of our party level, which is good because this will make our attacks much stronger.
I really wanted a challenge.
There we go.
All right.
Nice, we got Sky Divider now. Yeah, so at certain levels, the characters are going to get pretty good abilities. Some of them more useful than others. But for now, we can just head on in.
All right, let's go.
Take out this guy too. Just about. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. There we go. That should be good enough. Yeah, I was close enough for that one.
Pretty good, huh?
Alright, so I want to take a photo of the round guys here. It is a little bit tricky though because they are bouncing into battle as well, so I'll have to time the photos.
What a pain.
Hopefully we can take a pretty decent one. One there. So I'll attack this one.
Did that scare you?
Okay, so I want to be up close
The
here.
detail is just amazing.
Okay, so I can check that one. I'll try it again. I'll try this a couple of times because it is tricky because he is bouncing.
Say cheese.
Okay. See if we get a good one with that. Yeah, you can tell these guys are pretty weak.
What did you think?
Alright, let's take a look. So hopefully we got them in frame. Yeah, so we missed one. Ooh, these will be good ones. Yeah, so he's not in this one, so I'll take it. Alright, so we got 2. We can just let those develop. Alright, so since these guys are pretty weak, we don't really need to farm them, so we can just move on. See if we can... We'll grab chests along the way. I believe there's one over here. Yeah, there it is. Serpentine lock. Get a weapon for beat. Yeah, we'll just give that to him. Yeah, like I said before, a good thing to remember is that we usually find some pretty decent equipment out and about. So it's good to equip it pretty much right when we get it. Because some of the stuff we find outside is usually better than stuff we can find in towns. Alright, so we got Light Guard. We could give this to Allegretto because this increases attack. And since we didn't buy the equipment in the store, we can actually give B what Allegretto had. My inner voice cries out for me to capture and paint the full essence of this great landscape. But the lush bounty of nature is more lush than I imagined. I've almost used up all my green paint. Yeah, so this is one of the NPCs we can do the trading quest with, but we don't have the item for that yet, so we have to move on. We do have to remember where he is, though. Alright, so here we have another enemy. Now, this ties in with how the battlefield is here. So if you see over there, there's one. This is actually a different form of the jumping dude. When he's in shadow. So just like how we can get different abilities in the light and shadow, enemies can also change form whether they're in light or shadow as well. So it definitely plays into how to strategize the different battles. Alright, so we'll try and take this guy out. There we go. And I'll move up so I can get a decent photo of him. I do have to keep him in the shadow though too, so it'll be easier. Alright, so we'll see if we can get a decent one. Yeah, so he changed form. So I gotta get him back into the shadow here. Hopefully he can turn around. So I'll try and coax him over here. Might take a bit, because, yeah. Alright. I'll just attack him. I'll see if I can get a different battle.
I really wanted a challenge.
Yeah, so certain forms like that one will give more experience, because they're usually tougher compared to the opposite variant. Okay, so we'll see how this one might be either a B or a C. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a nice rank A. Yeah, so this one's probably the same too. Alright, let's continue on.
Who are you? You better back off.
Yeah, so that's an example of it. See if I can get this guy to move. I'll try and get him over towards Allegretto, because I would like to get a photo of him. There we go. That's good. Yeah, he's definitely stronger, but that's alright. We're at a pretty good spot.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, we'll see how that one is. There we go. Oh, he's almost done. Okay, that works.
Now that's how it's supposed to be.
And we got some floral powder too. That's good. Alright, let's check the photo. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, so that's interesting too. We could see more of his face, but yeah, for some reason it's a B, and this one's an A. Yeah, so it definitely changes depending on like character placement, enemy placement, and whatnot. So, yeah, for now we could just toss the B one. The A one's just as good. So hopefully these two will be decent. This is probably going to be either C's or B's. Alright, and another cutscene. And a boss. Yeah, so we're going to grab some photos of this guy too. Yeah, so all we need to do is stay in the light. Missed it. Got it. Nice. I'll stay close to the boss here so I can get the other minions to come over here so we can line them up for like an easy combo. Okay. I will grab a few photos though too, because I can sell those. Yeah, the rats are pretty weak. But hopefully they go a little bit. There we go, that's good. Nice. I had missed it. Alright, I'll attack here. Alright, that's good. Okay, that's good. He's still attacking Allegretto. Good block. Good block. Got it. Nice. Alright, so now that we've built up a little bit of a combo, I'm going to go for 24, and here's where it gets really interesting. So when we get enough of a combo, we actually get a tiny little cutscene, and the attack is much stronger too, which is what we really want for these battles. Alright, so I'm going to try and move a little bit, just so I can make sure he's in the shot. So hopefully that'll be a good one. Okay, not too bad. I'll turn around so you can face this way. Yeah, good combo. Turn around so I can get a shot. Alright, so you can see what the photo will be like now. Yeah, I missed it. Got it. Yeah, so I do have to be careful when it comes to guarding. Because just like they take a lot of damage when they're not guarding. Alright, let's go for another one here. Alright, should be good with photos. I missed it. Got it. Alright, let's continue. I'll heal when I need it. Sun slash. There we go. Oh, nice. I'm in the shadow, so I could use rapid shooter here. Sweet. Oh, he's getting to be low health. Got it. And got it. Alright, so we should be good. I'll be able to get a 16 here. And we can hopefully... Nice.
What did you think?
Stone Sword hilt.
All right.
I don't think we get anything for beat just yet. Yeah, not yet. I think like level 8 or something.
If we don't hurry, we're gonna get caught in the rain.
Yeah, so a pretty decent boss.
So what? We can handle a little rain. I mean, the hideout's roof leaks like crazy. And that's just when it drizzles.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah, don't want to be caught out in the rain. So, because we're done with them for a bit, we're going to be switching back over to Polka and Frederick, but here we actually get a little bit of an intermission. We see these a couple of times throughout the game where it talks about the main character, one of the main characters' life, the character that he's based on. Here it's going to be talking about George Sand. So the character in question is Frederick Francois Chopin. He was a very famous pianist that died somewhat early in his life due to failing health, and I can't remember the disease he had. It's somewhat well known. I don't know if it was like tuberculosis or something like that. But this game is loosely based on his life and adding some fantasy game mechanics too. But yeah, this game is based on the real life Frederick Chopin. So these little intermissions pretty much talk about different points in his life. And here they're talking about George Sand, a woman that he had met, and she ended up, they ended up being friends. Yeah, the interesting thing with George Sand here is that she was a really interesting character back then, because a lot of women back then used to be like more feminine and whatnot, but she was definitely against the norm. She was very outspoken, which was different back then. Yeah, so these also talk about the different pieces that he has made throughout his life. This one, it's talking about Raindrops. I believe these are just summary titles of the actual pieces. And some of the pieces are actually somewhat well known compared to some of the other ones. Yeah, pretty much just talking about his health and how it had failed over the years, and his friends had the idea of moving him into a different area so he could recover from his failing health. And unfortunately, that kind of had the opposite effect, which we'll learn in another intermission part. Yeah, and these also kind of give us an understanding to how he got inspiration for these music pieces too. Because of the name Raindrops, it is rumored that he got inspired by the monsoon season of where he was staying at the time, which led to him creating this piece. But like it says right here, even though they tried to help him out, it actually made his condition worse, and he had gotten tuberculosis on top of what he had before, which didn't really help. It exacerbated, everything that was going on with him. So, yeah, he definitely had it rough. And all of this took place in the 1800s, which we'll see the times. So, yeah, so it is thought this is how he was inspired by creating the piece Raindrops. I'm pretty sure it has like a very specific name. This is just a summary or a Cliff Note version of it. And I believe this is the actual piece that they're playing in the background too, or at least a part of it. And I believe they had an actual pianist that researched quite a bit of his works to play the song too, which was pretty cool. It was I don't know who. It was some pianist that did it. Someone that does a lot of historical and famous works. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool that he was already an accomplished pianist at the age of 29. Even before this, too. But, yeah, that wasn't really looking good for him. And thankfully, he had people like George with him. Yeah, and that was Raindrops. Alright, so now we're back to Polka and Frederick.
Looks like it's finally started raining.
You know, the rain makes the plants look even more alive.
For Chinoodle's flowers, the rain is a blessing from heaven.
Yeah, so we are still in the Go-Go Forest, but we're in a deeper section of it. We're going to be getting to this point with Allegretto and Beat later, but for now we're pretty much traveling through with Frederick and Polka. So, this also changes the battles as well, because it's raining. We're going to get more shadow effects in the battle, so that means we're going to be fighting some of the bigger variants of the very, very empties here. So, let's take a look at the photos. Okay, get some really good ones. Yeah, so I could sell these. Yeah, so rank C. So I'll have to take another one of these. I'm pretty sure I'd be okay with using C's for the quest, but I usually go for like B's or A's, like I said before. So I can junk these. Because we'll be getting access to Beat later. But yeah, these are some pretty good ones though. And I could sell these. Alright, so we did get a weapon earlier, so we can equip that. Should be good. Okay, so Stone Sword hilt we just got. I could probably give this to Polka for now. And we should be good to go. Grab this chest over here. Pretty close. I think we can just give that to Polka. Yeah, plus 10. Alright, let's go fight some enemies. Yeah, so we're gonna fight the bigger variants because the light changes. Which is also fine too, because we do have access to some of the shadow attacks, like Shade Comet and Q Grave, which are definitely pretty decent. But we do have to be careful too, because our healing is the light attack, so we do have to keep that in mind.
Now we'll rest.
Okay, got a good block. Missed it again. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's go for this guy here. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so if we really need to, we'll just go into the light and just heal. For now, we can pretty much just attack as normal. Alright, there we go.
Continue your sleep.
Okay, not bad. Pretty close to another level up here. Yeah, so we can grab a few of these guys. We don't really need the farm, but I'll just run into them once in a while. Get an orange glow. Ah, we got a bird here. Yeah, so these are the same birds as before.
Relentless advance. Good.
Yeah, which means whenever we switch over to Beat, or... Oh, I don't think we'll be able to. Oh no, I could turn around and do that. Because I got so many of the boss ones, it kind of takes up space. so I can go up here and just grab this chest then. Glowing tail. Grab another chest. Wet umbrella. Okay, so we get another weapon for Poco. Plus 15. There we go. Quite a few of these guys because we need some of the experience. Okay, not bad. Alright. There we go. Good blocks. Very good blocks. Nice. There we go.
There is no way for you to stop my relentless advance.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'll do. When it comes to the photos, I could probably just skip the two variants here, the birds and the giant version of the very, very empty. Go into town and sell the ones that I don't need, and then I can double back.
But I'm in a hurry.
So I kind of have to double back anyway because of that painter dude that was in the forest. I have to come back to the quest. Alright, let me attack this guy here because he's just about done. And Shade Comet. Yeah, I missed it. Whoops. Yeah, sometimes I don't get the timer. Which is alright. It's not impossible. Alright, let me build up the combo a little bit. There we go, got a nice 24, so we can get a full combo here. And 32. Yeah, so this is a number we really want. Because this will make our attacks really powerful.
This is but a brief part.
So sometimes we will have to build on the combos a bit so we can unleash stronger attacks. Okay, hunting coat, we could give that to Frederick. Yeah, so when it comes to equipment, for like the weapons and the clothes and whatnot, I'll usually sell. As for the accessories, they're usually a little bit harder to come by, so I'll pretty much keep all of those. Because we can usually find a use for those. Because there are some decent ones that you really need to keep on hand because you can't get them anywhere else. Good block. Okay, not enough.
Now you will rest.
There we go. Alright, and another one. Yeah, so I'm just about done with this area for now. Because right about here, we're going to get into a fight that's not winnable. We lose. It's part of the story. So we really don't have to worry too much about levels at this moment. As you'll see after this one.
Now you will rest.
Okay, not too bad. Knock him over, so we'll make him waste his time. Oh, good block.